Good morning, friends. This is Durga from IT Varsity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. So we are in the middle of a Scala and Spark workshop, and let's continue where we have paused yesterday. To re-emphasize, this is just a backup to my live training, so that they can use this material to refer. But that being said, you can follow my videos. And if you want to practice, you can practice on any environment. But if you don't have the environment, we provide you at a nominal price. You can go to labs.itvarsity.com and sign up using local authentication or social authentication. And then once you log in, there will be plans if you haven't enrolled for any plans. And the plans are $14.95 for 31 days, $34.95 for 93 days, and $54.95 for 185 days. Whether you sign up for the lab or not, if you have any questions, you can go to discuss.itvarsity.com and start posting your questions under the category Big Data. There is a subcategory called Apache Spark. As we are talking about Spark, you have to go here and then raise the topics. That being said, let me launch the live session on WebEx, and then we will proceed. So I'm sharing my screen on WebEx. People on WebEx, please confirm that you can see my screen and also you can hear me, so that we start where we have stopped yesterday. I'm launching the recorder also. I'm starting recording. I hope it will record without any issues today. Just confirm on the chat that you guys can hear me and see my screen so that I can proceed. Hello guys, can you see my screen? And also, can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay. And one more thing I have to do is I have to mute everyone. So just give me a moment. I will stop screen sharing. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen. Now you should be able to see my screen, and let's discuss. Okay, let's start where we have stopped. So let me reiterate what we have covered so far from the certification perspective, and then we will proceed. So if you go to CCA 175, okay, if you go to the curriculum, with respect to Spark, I want to emphasize one more thing as part of today's session. Okay, so please hear carefully because most of you are anticipating to do this certification. So there is a small change when it comes to question format. Okay, so if you go to this transform stage and store, earlier they used to have only up to here. Convert a set of data values in a given format stored in HDFS into new data values and or a new data format and write them into HDFS. And then they used to have these 5 learning objectives. They have added a new statement here, which says this includes writing Spark applications in both Scala and Python. I think this was also there earlier, but now they have added this additional note. See note above on exam question format for more information on using either Scala or Python. Okay, it is very important to understand that above note. So I'm scrolling up here. And there is a section called exam question format. Okay. In this, they say each CCA question requires you to solve a particular scenario. In some cases, a tool such as Impala or Hive may be used. In other cases, coding is required. Okay. In order to speed up development time of Spark questions, a template is often provided that contains a skeleton of the solution, asking the candidate to fill in the missing lines with functional code. This template is written in either Scala or Python. So here you need to understand this importance of this often. Okay, what they're saying is they will often provide templates in Scala or Python, and you can use those templates if they are provided. Yeah, they say often there could be a scenario where they might not actually provide templates. In which case, you have to read this and act accordingly. In this case, they are saying if 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 you even if they give templates and if you feel that using templates are not required, or if you are not interested in using templates, that is fine. That's what they're saying here. You are not required to use the template. So even if they give template, you might not have to. You don't need to use it. You can write program by yourself. And at times they might not even give the template because they are saying often, not always. So if they don't give the template, the second point will is very important to understand. You may solve the scenario using a language you prefer. So whether you want to use the template or template is not given in both the scenarios, you may solve the scenario using a language you prefer. So if you are proficient in Scala, try to solve it in Scala. If you are proficient in Python, try to solve it in Python, or you can use both. Each question is different. You can use both. Okay. Be aware, however, that coding every problem from scratch may take more time than is allocated for the exam. So what they're trying to say is if templates are provided, better to use templates rather than writing a complete program. But if they don't give template, there is no other alternative. You have to write the program. Okay. So understanding this is very, very important. So I will give a couple of minutes here. Make sure you understand this, and then we will proceed further. And also, I hope everyone have developed the program which I have provided earlier, and also improvised uh, the way I have mentioned yesterday, integrating with type-size config, parameterize the pass the input based directory as the argument, and then read orders, order items, and rest of the tables, and also get the output path as parameter or argument, and write it to a location where you pass as argument. I hope you have improvised that program. If you have any questions from that aspect, also let me know. You should use SBT only because that is the preferred tool for Scala projects. So we will spend some time on that also. Before going even to that, even if you have question in that aspect, just wait for 2 minutes. First, let us understand that everyone understand these exam question format. If you don't have any questions, then we will proceed further. Okay. So at times you might have to write end-to-end program, but that doesn't mean that you have to use Spark Submit and all to submit the job. You most likely they will not ask you to create a jar file and submit the jar file. Probably you just have to run the script as part of the Spark shell, and they might validate the program. They might ask you to save the program to some location and output to some other location, and they might go through the program and say whether you have passed or not. Okay, so very, very important to understand this because it has 40% weightage. Spark has 40% weightage for this certification. So I will give 15 seconds if you, I will wait for any of the questions. If you are asking a long question, please say that you are asking the question, or just unmute yourself and ask the question directly. 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Okay, so let's move further. Before getting into yesterday's improvisation of your existing problem, let us understand what are covered so far. We have covered this one, loading data from HDFS and store results back to HDFS. So far, we are using only the text file primarily, but you should be familiar with the others also. I will try to demonstrate a little bit later. Okay, and then join disparate data sets together using Spark. We have covered quite extensively. I haven't covered left auto join, right auto join, etc. They are pretty much self-explanatory. If you want me to cover those, let me know, because it will take good amount of time if I have to get into the theory and explain it. I'm assuming that you all know what is join, left auto join, right auto join, and full auto join. As part of the Hive, I will cover that extensively. So even if you have question and if you're not comfortable with joins, we will see theory part of joins and all those things as part of the Hive. If you're part of that batch, also just refrain from getting clarifications on left, right, and full auto join. If you are not part of that and if you have questions with respect to left auto join or right auto join, just let me know. And then calculate aggregate statistics such as average, sum, etc. We have seen how we can use reduce by key and aggregate by key. Both the scenarios are means syntactically we have seen both. We didn't get a right example to actually use aggregate by key, but we come up with a hypothetical scenario and we used aggregate by key also effectively. Filtering data into a smaller data set using Spark, we have seen that also. We have filtered for closed and completed orders. If you want to understand more filtering options syntactically, I will give you the link of my GitHub account. Or you can go to my blog also. Anyway, I will show it in my GitHub account. Repositories, code, Hadoop, RDW, Cloudera, Spark. Okay, we are talking about Scala, so let's focus on Scala itself. Control F, filter. So here are the examples. Okay, you can go to this page and you can search for filter. So it starts from here and then here. I have shown how to use filters using different options. Okay, so I'm pasting in the chart. Make a copy of it. Make sure you understand the link. I'm not pasting the code, but I'm pasting the link. Instead of going to the entire this file, you can directly go to the filter portion to understand different combinations of filters. Okay, and then so you should be comfortable till this point. If not, you have to revise and make sure write some good programs. We have multiple data sets. We have New York Stock Exchange data, which we'll be seeing today. We have retail DB. We have employee database. So there are multiple data sets which you can use for exploring this. Okay. So today we will be starting on ranking and sorting. Before going further, let us also see from the HDP PD Spark. Okay, and let us see what are all covered from HDP CD perspective. Okay, here if you go to view exam objectives, so we are talking about core Spark. We are not talking about Spark SQL yet. So we will see that later. As part of the core Spark, we know how to write a Spark core application in Scala. Initialize a Spark application. So if you click on this, This guy's website is pretty sloppy. It's sloppier than my website. Okay, if you click on this learn more, I think, yeah, it opened the window. So initializing the Spark, we have seen this. We have seen about Spark configuration and Spark context as part of your program. Okay, so you should not be confused on this. You should know what is the relevance of configuration and how to set app name, set master to run in YAR mode or local mode, and then how to create the Spark context. Everything is covered extensively. And then run a Spark job or in YAR. We have seen how to run Spark submit command using the jar file, and also how to launch Spark shell in YARN mode. You just have to say Spark shell --- master YARN client. Create an RDD. You know how to create an RDD from the source data, and then create multiple RDDs as part of the processing. We have already seen that. Create an RDD from a file or directory in HDFS, and also here they have emphasized to create an RDDs. One is create an RDD from a file or directory in HDFS, which we have been seeing quite extensively. This one, they are primarily focusing on parallelize command. So there might be a scenario where they might ask you to, they might give you sample data and create a RDD out of it. So it should struck your mind that there is a command, there is the API called parallelize in Spark. So here I am actually launching Spark shell. Okay, let me connect to the lab. Okay, it is very important to understand these learning objectives. You should not have any question in your mind. Okay, then only you will be able to give the certification with confidence. If you have any question with respect to any of these learning objectives, let me know, whether you at the as part of the training or even after the training. Okay, so I'm logging into the lab. Hello, someone is not muted. Please mute yourself unless you have question. I'm pasting the password. On Windows, always use Shift Insert or right click. Don't use Control V. You will not be able to log in. Okay, now I am launching Spark Shell in the local mode. I have covered this already, but I have not emphasized enough earlier. That's why I'm revising what actually that means. Okay, I have actually covered SC parallelize earlier also. So let's say you have an array or list of elements. So how to create a list in Scala? You can just say I equal to list, and we can say, okay. Then they might ask you to create an RDD with that list. What you will do, you can say sc.parallelize I. Now you can see it has created a RDD, which is nothing but a distributed collection with elements of type integer, because all the elements are of type integer here. So what sc.parallelize have done, it has converted regular Scala collection into Spark RDD, which is nothing but a Spark collection, which is nothing but resilient distributed data set, which is whose characteristics are to have data cached in memory in the distributed fashion. Okay, so this is what they are talking about when they say create an RDD. And then we have seen create an RDD from a file or directory in HDFS. And persistent RDD in memory or on disk. I haven't covered this, so it's pretty straightforward. You can go to the documentation here, just click on this. You can use it for reference. And they will give this documentation at the time of certification also, but it will not be organized like this. So you should know where to search in the documentation. Okay, so as they are talking about memory, you should filter out in the index itself where you should go. In this case, if as they're talking about persistence, storing it in memory, RDD persistence is the one which you need to go. Okay, so make sure if you want to give HDP CD Spark exam, make sure the relevant relevant section of that documentation, so that you can actually search effectively at the time of certification also. Sometimes you might have to use the documentation for reference. Okay, so now they are talking about persistent RDD in memory or on disk. So what you have to do, you have to use persist or cache functions, and there are different storage levels. I think somewhere they have given example also. Let me see. I think what you have to do is, let me assign a variable to this. Val r equal to, and then if you say r dot and hit tab, you will see the methods persist and cache. Okay, so you can say persist, and persist also takes parameters to tell whether it is memory only, memory and disk, etc. Okay, so these are all kind of enums or static variables or static final variables as part of the storage level class. So if you want to change it to memory and disk for this RDD, what you have to do is you have to say storage level dot memory and disk. Okay, now storage level is not available in this session. So for that you have to say import org dot apache dot spark dot. Let us see if we have storage level here. No, storage level is not here. So we need to identify the fully qualified path so that we know where this class is. Okay, so let's search for it. Spark storage level import. Okay, so there is a sub package called storage. Okay, now you can say storage level and then run this. Okay, so it is saying cannot change storage level of an RDD. So I think while creating the RDD itself, I have to do that. Let me say it again. Okay, dot persist. Yeah, so Rohit is saying we have to unpersist and persist. Thank you, Rohit. Or you can also say storage level dot memory and disk. Okay, so this is how you can change it. So this is what they are highlighting when it comes to persistent RDD in memory or on disk. Okay, and then we are seeing perform Spark transformations and on RDD and perform Spark actions and on RDD. These things are not covered yet. Create and use broadcast variables and accumulators. I'll be covering that probably after sorting and ranking. We have exercise also for that. This one, broadcast variables and accumulators, and whatever I have highlighted additionally today, most part of it is not relevant for CCA. So you should know the scope of the certification and prepare accordingly. Otherwise, you will be overwhelmed and you might get lost in the process of preparing for the certification. So make sure you understand the curriculum and prepare based on that. Okay. So this one will be covered very soon, probably in next 2-3 classes. And then last one, configure Spark properties. Okay, here we are already using some of the properties where there are helper methods such as set master, set app name, etc. And then we might have to override other parameters. For that, as part of your program, you have to use set method. Okay, let me see if there is an example here. So if you want to override any of these things as part of your program, for some of these things, there can be helper methods directly on the Spark configuration. Some things you will not have. In that case, you need to know the relevance of set function. So for example, if I want to set the Spark app name, instead of using set app name as part of the program, what I can do is I can delete this and then say conf dot set and then total revenue. Okay, so both are same. For setting the app name, we have helper methods, but for many of these things, you might not have helper methods, in which case you need to know which parameter to use with the proper value, and then you can use set method to override any parameter at runtime. Okay, so if you go through this curriculum, we have covered everything except for broadcast variables and accumulators. And with respect to Spark transformations and actions, still there are few things which needs to cover that we will see as part of today's sessions, tomorrow's session, and after tomorrow's session. So again, I will wait for a minute, and if you have any questions with respect to certifications, whatever covered so far, I will answer that before proceeding for clarifying any doubts for the program which we have started yesterday. Then we will get into the remaining agenda. Okay, I just need to take a 30-second to 1-minute break. If you have any questions, meanwhile, you can ping in the chat. I'll be right back. So I'm back. Let me check if there are any questions here. So Himanshu is asking when there is a need to persist. So by default, it always persists. The default is memory. Okay. Sometimes if you have huge data set which might not fit in the memory, then in that case you might have to consider customizing it a little bit using memory and disk. so that it will not run into out of memory issues. Okay, default it will always persist, but the default mode is memory mode. And one more thing is I'm starting a new batch from today. Today will be big data introduction. Tomorrow we'll start with Scala and Spark. Some of the guys from Tawant who actually missed first few classes, send me an email to training@itversity.com if you want to be part of that session, so that from Spark perspective you will catch up with whatever we have covered earlier. If you want to learn Scala and all those things, okay, that way you will be up to speed. That one also. So the today's training will be first 3 weeks purely Scala and Spark, and then we'll get into Hive and Scoop. It will be a little bit fast paced than these sessions, but yeah, to begin with we'll be primarily focusing on Scala and Spark for 3 weeks. If anyone of you want to join that session, please send email to training@itversity.com. Okay. So let's move on. I hope everyone understands the relevance of how to use file system effectively to do additional validations. If you have any questions, again, for this also I will give probably 15 seconds. If you have any questions, I will answer. Otherwise, we will move on to the next topic, which is sorting and ranking. Okay, so you can ask question anytime. So let's move on. It seems there are no more questions, so there's no point in wasting the time. If you scroll up here, so far we have primarily focused on transformations. We haven't focused that much on actions. Okay, most of them are self-explanatory. We have been using collect. Collect actually convert RDD into a regular Scala collection, so that we can do things such as printing, etc. Count, it's obvious, we just want to get the count. First, if you just want to preview the data, I have been using first quite a bit, quite a lot. If you just want to see one record to preview and make sure that data is being read properly from the given input path, we use first, and then take. If you want to preview n number of records, you can use take, and then you will get whatever number you mentioned. Take sample, take will actually take it from the top. So if there are 100,000 records, and if you say take of 10, it will only fetch first 10 records. Take sample is primarily to get the sample, as the name suggests. So we will see take ordered as part of today's session. We have seen what is save as text file. It is primarily to save the data. We need to understand save as sequence file. Save as object file is not that important, but you can give a try, and if you have any question, you can let me know, and I will clarify. And then count by key we will see, and also for each we have been using on Scala collections. Sometimes we can use on RDDs also. So this is usually done for side effects such as updating an accumulator or interacting with external storage systems. Okay, so we will see about updating the accumulator and all. Okay, so now let us move on to, first let me explain a little bit of reduce. I haven't used reduce. We have been using by key operations directly. So for example, let me take the data set from products. Okay, and sorry. Okay, message here. It's supposed to clear, but it is not. I think it is throwing some error or something. Anyway, so let me create a RD called products equal to sc dot text file we have under public retail underscore DB products. Okay. You can run first to make sure the path is correct. We are getting the data. Okay. So in this case, I just want to get the highest priced product in my catalog. Okay, let us first understand the count. So products dot count will give the number of products we have in the catalog. There are 1,345, and I just want to get highest paid, highest product, highest priced product. Let me switch on the charger. Okay. So what we have to do? 1 minute. I think Himanshu is relatively new, so that's why he don't know the path. Anyway, let me show it again. Okay, I'm opening another window. I hope you are familiar with the HDFS commands. Okay, I'm logging in again here. Okay, so there is a public data set which is accessible for everyone under this location / public hyphen retail underscore DB / products. Okay, so we are trying to read data from this location where there is only one file and there are 1345 records. So that's why I have run this command. Okay, so you see this is HDFS path. When Hadoop and Spark are integrated, or HDFS and Spark are integrated, you don't need to give the HDFS URI here. Okay, in this case, my HDFS on my cluster and also Spark on my cluster are integrated. So it will by default try to read from HDFS only. Okay, so I have given valid HDFS path. Okay, if the file is local, when you are running in distributed mode, you cannot read local files. Okay, but when you are running in local mode, you can just say file : / and give the fully qualified path of your file. Okay, I have covered that as part of the earlier videos. I don't want to get into too much into that. You can actually go through this playlist. Okay, so YouTube. And also you can ask those questions on discuss.itversity.com at any point in time. You can go to this playlist and you can see the first part of this playlist is purely Scala and Spark workshop. We are in 17th today. And the second part is Big Data Certifications workshop. I will be updating this playlist at regular intervals, so you can follow this to be up to date. And then if you have any questions while following that, you can ask on discuss.itversity.com and you will get responses. Okay. So let's not deviate too much. If you want, you can also join my today's session starting from today, and you can get up to speed using that session also. Okay. So there is one question from Rajat. I think Rajat just left or joined. That's fine. Okay. So now we read the data and we have validated the count. There are 1345. And here I want to just get the first letter, keep it simple and get the highest price. I don't want any other details. I just want to get highest price. Here on this products RDD, I can apply map function. Okay. and extract the price. So if we go to the output of the first command, so this one is product ID, this one is some other column, this one is some other column, third one, fourth one, there is null here, and this is the fifth column which has price. Okay. So I have to apply split function using comma delimiter, and price is fifth column, so I can use 4. This is how arrays uh, value elements from arrays are retrieved or collections are retrieved in Scala using circular bracket. Okay, it will give the price, and then it's a float. So you have to convert or cast into float. Okay, and then it will actually do the necessary transformation and give the and extract those prices. Okay. Now we have a collection of prices and we want to get the minimum of it. So we can use reduce function here. As part of the reduce function, we get min we are creating a tuple. The first element is minimum, which is nothing but aggregator, and the second one is actual value. Okay, and here we can say if min is less than or equal to value, then min, else value. Okay, and then hit enter. So there is some bug in the code. Okay, there is a record which have issue in this data set with I think product ID 685. So we have to filter that out. For that we have to use filter function. Okay, so people like let me write it in Sublime text. People like Himanshu, if you don't get it completely, don't worry. You have to follow those videos. I have already covered map, reduce, and all those things, especially map earlier. Here, the emphasis is on reduce. So as we have to apply transformation to extract the price, we are using map. Map is used for low-level transformations. It takes one record as input and one record as output. And then I am applying reduce function on that on top of it to get min and max value. But there is one record where there is issue, and I want to clean it up. Hence, I have to use filter. Okay, and if the first element, because I know the product ID, I am using simple filter condition. I am not writing any fancy filter condition. So here I can get the first element by saying 0. Okay, if it is 685 or not equal to 685, I want to process further. Otherwise, I don't want to. If it is 685, I just want to ignore. Now run this. I don't have dot here. Still there is some issue. Still the number format exception. So I didn't remember it. So let me fetch it real quick. The ideal way is to filter out those values using standard data filtering process. You should not filter it directly using product ID. As we are dealing with the product price, if product price is not of type number, we should log it or something like that, and then proceed with the rest of the records. But here, to keep it simple, I'm just filtering. We have comment somewhere here. 685 is the one. Okay, I know why it is failing. Here I have to say dot to int. Okay, now you see there is a product with price 0, or probably min always is minimum, so that's why it might be throwing, it might be showing that value. So we have to validate that whether there is a product really with value 0 or not. Okay, so for that we can actually log into MySQL database, retail underscore DBA, which is our source database, and then 01.itversity.com. Or we can also directly process data from files and see what is the minimum value to just validate. Okay, use retail underscore DB, select min of, describe products, select min of product price from products. Okay, there is a product with 0. So functionally it might be working. Okay, so what we can also do is, as part of the filter, we can also ignore products with 0, so that we confirm that functionally it works. So here I want to filter out if this is the case, or less than or equal to, sorry, greater than or equal to 0.0f. Okay, only in that case I want to consider, otherwise I want to ignore. So it will only consider records when, if the product ID is not 685 or greater than 0. Okay. So let me run it. Someone have asked the question. Just wait a minute. I will respond. Okay. Again, here it is throwing exception. Again, it is saying number format exception. Okay. Because we have or, it might be throwing. Okay. For this value, okay, it's little bit tricky. It's not as straightforward as this. So here, what I have to add is, okay, now it should work. I have to say greater than 0, not greater than or equal to. So validation is very important, because see here, even when I say public condition might be, let me see. Okay. Okay, still it is getting 0.0. Somewhere it is missing. Yeah, but this also should work. Okay. So someone is saying Can't this be handled in if clause of reduce function? No, you should not handle it in if reduce function. Okay, you should only do it in the filter. So let me figure out. I think the condition is somewhere breaking. Yes. Is it end or all? Yeah, I think yes. That is my bad. I just have to use the end here. Okay. I can delete this. Or we can actually have multiple levels of filters. Yeah, that is correct. Thank you, Saurav. That is correct. I should have used the end. Now you see. So I just want to make sure that our function is working because we don't know what min is initialized to begin with. Is it handled internally or not? We don't know. That's why I just want to make sure that the logic is working without any issues. Now, if I want to get maximum, what I have to do, I just have to change this condition. Okay, and here instead of min, let us say max and max. Okay, so that is the max priced product. Okay, so this is how you can use reduce. So just to showcase how to use reduce in conjunction with the filter, map, etc., I have taken this example. Okay, then let's go to the documentation. If you have any questions, let me know. Now we are actually getting into the sorting. On top of this, so one more thing which you need to understand is reduce is an action. As it is an action, to print the output, we don't need to use collect and for each. It will execute the function in the DAG immediately, and we will get the results immediately. Okay, so you should understand this difference also. Reduce is an action, whereas reduce by key, sort by key, aggregate by key, all these are transformations. Okay, so whatever example I have covered is if you want to do aggregations on the overall data set, then you can do this way. Now, if I want to get all the details of the product of min price or max price instead of just price, if I just want to get everything, then what you have to do, you don't need to use map here because we just want to process the entire data set. Okay, there will be implicit mapper which will run when you use reduce, and here the value is of type string, which have all the elements. So now what you have to do, you have to write the comparison logic by splitting at this place. Okay, what you have to do, you have to say max dot split comma 4 dot to float is greater than value dot this logic. Then max means the entire record we are returning, else we are returning the entire record which is value. Okay, so this is how you can actually get all the details of that record which have max price in it. Okay, so now you get all the details of it. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, as part of this condition, instead of comparing, instead of using map and then comparing the prices, as part of the if condition itself, we are actually comparing based on the price, but we are returning the complete record if it satisfies the condition. Okay. So I hope everyone understand how the reduce function work. It will be like this. If you think from Java perspective, it will be like this. In this case, max string max equal to, and then our values are can be thought of like this. Values will be an array. Okay, and then in that loop, we are writing if condition. It will look like this. Okay, if max of split and all this logic. It will not exactly be like this, but similar to this. Then we want to return max else value. So it will be like this. So this logic is taken care using one API called reduce. And then as part of the reduce, we are functionally telling how it should actually get the max priced product. Okay. And the program will actually compile into the bytecode similar to this logic in Java, and then it will execute when we submit it as a job. Okay, if it is getting complicated to write in single line, you can write it in multiple line also like this. Let me do this. Let me format it a little bit. Okay, you can write it like this also. Okay, so this is actually Scala ternary operator. Unlike in Java where you have question mark, colon, etc., you don't find it in Scala. You just have to write in readable format using if else. This is the ternary operator in Scala. If you write it in one line, it is ternary operator. Okay, everyone is clear? Now let us go to the documentation. Okay, and then take order is very, very important. Before going into that, we are talking about sorting and ranking now. We will start talking about sorting and ranking. Okay, so to sort, if you want to do global sorting, what you can do, you can put everything in the key and run sort by key. Then the data will be sorted globally. So for example, in this case, I just want to sort based on product ID. Okay, so the entire string, the entire record needs to be sorted for whatever reason. Okay, so what I can do, I can set products dot sort by key. You can also convert it into collection and apply collection based APIs also, but it is not more efficient way when we are dealing with larger data sets. So you have to just say products dot sort by key. Products is an RDD, and I think it will fail. Let me see, and then collect, and then for each println and hit enter. So products cannot be used like this. Okay, let us see the syntax. We have to go here, sort by key. When called on a data set of KB, so you have to actually create a key value pair or paired RDD. Only then you will be able to use sort by key. Okay, so if you want to sort globally in distributed fashion rather than converting into a collection and sort, you can say products dot map rec, just create tuple. Okay, so that we get key value pairs, and then sort by key, and then collect, and then for each So wherever it is not required, you don't need to put the circular brackets also. You can directly say sort by key, select, sort for each, and hit enter. Okay, so I think it will not work always. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not. Yeah, now you can see. So data is sorted based on the entire string. So in this case, we got 999 as the last value because it's alphanumerically sorted. Okay. So if you want to sort globally, you can either use sort by key or you can convert into a collection and sort it. But typically, we want to sort on particular criteria. For example, we want to sort on the product price. Okay. So how to do that? You can say products map. And first, we need to apply the transformation to get the key, which is product price. And we have to filter also. So let me use Sublime text here because we have to use filter and we have the logic already. We will just take 2 more minutes. Why? Okay, I understand. How to expand this? Okay, now I got it. Okay, so here I am deleting this. I am filtering the data first. I am removing this condition also. Okay, and then apply map function. Rect. This will be the key. So here we have to create tuple, and value will be our record. Okay, and then we can use sort by key dot collect dot for each print ln. Okay, we'll continue from this again tomorrow so that we don't rush. But for now, let me run this program and make sure it runs. Okay, let me see this. Okay, 685. Where is the typo? Okay, okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, now you can see data is sorted and you can see the last one is 1999. Okay, if you want to sort it in reverse order, you just have to say false. I think it's Python syntax. Here I have to use all small. Okay, now you get the $0 price product at the end. So if you want to just sort it in reverse order, you just have to say sort by key of false, collect for each println. Okay, this is total sorting, and also we need to understand take ordered, and there is a top, etc. So we will see those things tomorrow, and then we will get into by key ranking and sorting also. So here there are few questions. I will just spend a minute or two on these questions, and then we will move on to the next workshop. Okay. Himanshu is asking, does it take the key as first column in the file or we have to specify? It will not, I don't know which part you are asking. Sort by key expects values in key value pairs. To give the data in key value pairs, we have to use map function. Okay, for map function, the filter, the input will be of type string. So for example, if I run this, what it is creating RDD of type string. So what, and if I do count on this, we got 1344, whereas products, we got 1345. So whatever condition returns true, for whatever record for which the condition returns true, that record will be considered and a new RDD will be created. And in this case, that RDD is named as rest35. So this is the name of the RDD. Okay. So the map function will be applied on that new RDD. And for that, what is the input? It's nothing but the record for which the filter condition returned true, 1344 records. For each record, this map function will be applied. And here we are transforming that record into a tuple. Tuple is again Scala based data structure. You will not be able to understand if you don't have Scala, if knowledge of Scala. In this, we are creating a tuple with one element as price and the other element as the entire record. Okay, so if I run this with first, which will give only one record, you see it is in circular brackets. Okay, so the first one is price, and then comma is the delimiter between elements in the tuple, and the second one is of type string, which is nothing but the record. Okay, and then we are actually doing sort by key, and it will take this as key, which is price. That's correct, Himanshu. Yeah, price will become key. So if you have further questions, use discuss.itversity.com or we will take it up tomorrow. So we'll pause here. I will take a minute or two break, and I will start the second part of the workshop, which is Hive. So I'm keeping you guys on mute for a brief period, and also I will stop sharing, and then we will catch up once we actually start Hive session. Okay, I'm also stopping recording. Just remind me to start recording once I launch the session. Okay. So those who are on YouTube live session, thank you very much for joining the session. And we'll resume wherever we have stopped today. I'm stopping this. And if you like this video, please click on the like button. If you want to share it with your friends or anyone, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to click on share. The share icon will be here somewhere, or it could be here also. Okay, just click on that and you can share on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. If you like the content, please click on the like button. It will help me a lot to reach out to more and more people. And to re-emphasize, this session is primarily backup for other folks who are paying for this. But you can learn, you can watch my videos and learn for free. And if you need environment, you can sign up for labs.itversity.com. Okay. And also, if you have any questions, you can actually post those questions on discuss.itversity.com. Okay, so we will catch up once I launch the second part of this workshop, which is going to be Hive. If you want to learn, you can join that session in a while. Okay, for now I'm stopping sharing the screen and also stopping this session. Thank you. Bye.